roadmap with its 5 priorities, almost all 5 of them engage teacher education. Yeah, especially if you look at priority 3, that's really where it stands out. How do we build the capacity of educators? I find it very interesting that 4.7 begins with saying all learners shall, by 2030, good teachers are learners too. We have to think back to ourselves. Teachers as learning with people, especially as in the world of emerging issues, the wicked issues that are coming forward. How do we prepare an appropriate education? But the role that we have in the second priority of transforming learning environments, it's key. The mobilizing and empowering young people, it's so important, because not only is it now appropriate to teach about, but it's to teach for and to engage people, whether it's Fridays for Future or whatever it is. How do we give them the skills, the civic skills, and so on? I remember the work that Anne Looney was doing years ago, with preparing people with a voice, getting the young students. So those are the important things. But the big issue, and I'm getting close to closing, I'm sorry, but the timing. It's how do we engage mainstream education? And I think bringing together the idea of quality education with the thrust for the Sustainable Development Goals, because education leaders don't see Sustainable Development Goals as job one, but they do see quality education as the main job. And so if we look at the kinds of changes that are going on in education, from the traditional focus of individual competence, the marking of each kid, to the idea of education as a common good, collaboration, working together. The idea that quality is no longer just PISA scores, but it includes values, ethics, the soft skills, and so on. Moving from teaching for vocation to well-being of the individual and society at large. The idea of equity, also including gender, sexuality, identity, those kinds of shifts. The idea of STEM, also including the arts, artificial intelligence, all of these areas. And the idea of moving forward to include the skills of reflection, discerning, judgment, understanding alternative facts, those kinds of realism. And so in face of that, UNESCO is now launching about once every generation, every 20, 25 years, it really looks at what is the purpose of education? Why are we doing this? And once we understand the why, then you can question the what, and then the how, and so on. And that is underway now in a program called the Futures of Education. And thousands and thousands of people are engaged. Students are writing in with their perspectives and so on. And I would strongly suggest that Ubuntu look in and take an active role in this whole thing.